Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mindset Marlon here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the difference of earning money versus building a business. And this is something that if you're going to be an entrepreneur, heck, if you're just going to be someone who ultimately builds wealth, you need to understand this immediately. I got a $1 billion mindset. So let's jump right into it. So on the board, I've got something drawn out, and many of you should be familiar with this if you've ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the one who coined this cash flow quadrant, and I'm going to fill this in because this is going to help us understand the difference between earning money and really building a business, because oftentimes a lot of people think they own a business when in fact they own a job, and I'll explain. So Robert Kiyosaki noted that on this quadrant, you have something called, and I'm going to do this a little out of order, and you're going to see I'm actually going to use green and red because it's neuro-linguistic as well. So, essentially we know red means stop, green means go. This is losing money, this is gaining money. So over here, just a quick reminder, especially if you've never seen this before, this is called the cash flow quadrant. Over here, we're going to have the people on the left-hand side of the quadrant and the people on the right-hand side of the quadrant. Over here, we're looking at employees. Employees are a majority of the workforce. This is where I would say approximately 90 to 95% of the population lives. It's on the employee side. Now, what do employees typically do? Typically, they trade time for money. Right? So money equals time over here. And it's one of the biggest lies that most everybody is sold, is that time equals money. Unfortunately, time does not equal money, or I should say, fortunately, time does not equal money, because you will never catch a person on their deathbed saying, I wish I had more money. They're always going to say, I wish I had more time. Because look, if I offered to give you $1 million right now, most of you would probably say yes. However, if I were to say to you that a part of me giving you this $1 million means you don't get to wake up tomorrow, how many of you would still take that money? None of you, because you understand that the money isn't worth the opportunity of having another day, of another 24 hours. So just understand, the employee mindset believes that time is money. So these people typically work all their time to make some money so that they can just pay their bills, to go back to work more time, to make more money, and they're caught in this hamster wheel. At some point, some of them realize like this is just not working, and they get a little fit, right? Maybe this is a mechanic, and he's like, man, I'm doing all the work, I'm fixing all the cars, and the boss, he just sits up there in his office all day long while I do the work. So he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go and open up my own mechanic shop. And he believes, because he opens up his own mechanic shop, so we have Mike the employee now opens up Mike's Mechanics. And he believes that he is a business owner, which is where many of you might find yourself right now. You own what you believe to be a business. But look, he's an S. He's a self-employed individual. Robert Kiyosaki used to call these people supermen and superwomen because this is the person that does it all themselves. When he was an employee, he went from just fixing the cars to now he's the owner of his job. So not only does he just fix the cars, but he also goes and gets new customers. He does the marketing, he does the books, he opens up, he closes up, he does everything. He went from working 9 to 10 hours a day to working 14 hours a day. This person is overworked, but they're making a little bit more money for their time. Ultimately, though, they're still working. Time is money. See, and this is where I want to talk about the difference between earning money and having a business. A lot of people think that now they're earning more money because they own a business. No, you own your job. And look, why would you want to own your job if you can just go get that? I mean, they literally give jobs away. Why do you want to own a job? Some people even pay. They'll buy. Mike might have bought his mechanic shop. He will pay to buy his job, which is just crazy because it doesn't give him the freedom that he was ultimately looking for. This is where we want to get clear about moving from self-employed to a business owner. And to make this transition from self-employed to business owner, it's going to take a few things that we really want to be aware of. So up here as a business owner, let's talk about what a business owner does for a second. A business owner understands the power of leverage. So a business owner uses systems. Up here, they have systematically figured out a way on how to produce income, how to have money coming in, whether they themselves are doing the work or whether someone else is doing the work. A business owner has trust. See, down here in the self-employed space, let's say Mike hires an employee. The challenge is Mike still doesn't trust that employee to do it as well as he would do it. Mike still doesn't trust that employee to handle the bank account, to handle the cash register. So he still finds himself having to micromanage everything. Up here as a business owner, they put the right systems in place, which ultimately gives them the ability to trust. And the final thing business owners understand and they pay attention to is leverage, right? They use leverage. At this level, he's looking at how can I do less and produce more, where this person is looking at how can I do more and I create a one-to-one ratio of my effort and energy produces the equal amount on its other side. Over here, it's more of a 1 to 10, a 1 to 100 ratio. I'm going to hire people, so my production level is much higher because I have an army working for me. Let's say, for example, that over here, Mike is able to fix one car. He does the best job in the world at fixing that one car. This business owner is maybe able to hire people who they're not as good as Mike, but they do get the car fixed. And maybe Mike fixes a car in 5 hours and these guys take, let's say, 10 hours. So they take twice as long as Mike. So Mike is able to fix 2 cars in the time it takes one of these people to fix 1 car. Well, if this business owner hires 10 people and we are given just 1 unit of the time, Mike fixes 1 car and these guys got 5 cars fixed in that same measure of time, the same unit of time. So we want to understand that because he's using leverage, he can do so much more. So now if we get a second unit of time, Mike's at 2 cars, they're at 20. So we want to see how it multiplies exponentially. Business owners really understand that through the use of systems, through the use of trust, and through the use of leverage, they are able to do so much more. And this is where it starts to get cool. And this is where the money multiplying effect starts to happen. Because over here, Mike's making usually just enough money to keep the lights on and to pay himself a little something, but he can never stop working. Because if he doesn't show up to work, the money stops. As a business owner, he's able to stop showing up, but the money keeps flowing in. And it allows him to then use his brain power, to use their capacity to look for investments. Where when you get to the investment side, this is money making money. So as an investor, you now start to look for places for your money to go to work for you. So it's no longer you going to work by yourself. It's you and your other people going to work. And now even your money begins to go to work. So over here, you're the only person that works. Over here, you have employees that work for you, and now you have money that works for you. When I started to understand this mental framework, it truly helped me get to the place of realizing no matter how good I believe I needed to get, I was never going to outperform somebody who had systems, trust, and leverage. And then when that person put their money to work, I would never catch up to them in the marketplace. Because I'm just simply, I can't do it all on my own. So if you've been in a place where you've been focused on just making money, but you haven't been focused on building a business, you're going to find that one day your production value won't be as high. You won't be able to produce as much. Maybe you get older, maybe new technology comes along and it places you out. But if you learn the critical skills of learning how to build systems, learning how to create an environment of trust, and understanding leverage at a higher level, then you will be able to keep yourself safe no matter what's happening in the marketplace, no matter what the marketplace is doing. And ultimately, you'll be able to move into this final box, which I believe everybody should want to move into, where you're an investor, or as I like to say it, you become the bank. This is ultimately where I'm looking to finish my career, is in this box. Currently, I find myself slowly continuing to transition back and forth between these 2 roles. I'm creating a business. The challenge is I still work inside my business. I'm putting systems in place. I have trust. I use leverage, but I still hire myself, which is why I get a paycheck from my business. I still hire myself as an employee. So I actually am employed by my business, but it's a business, it's being built as a business. In other words, a quick way to figure out if you're building a business or if you're simply self-employed, would anybody want to buy your business from you? Right? Would they want to buy Mike's Mechanics, where the brand is Mike, Mike does all the work, so if I buy it, I now have to become a mechanic? Or would I want to buy something like a Jiffy Lube, where I don't even know who owns Jiffy Lube, I don't know who created Jiffy Lube, but I can hire employees who understand how to follow the systems, how to drain the oil, how to take in the cards, how to do the invoices, how to print the receipts. I would much rather have a Jiffy Lube than Mike's Mechanics. So if this info was valuable to you, go ahead and hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and leave a comment on what made the most sense to you as you look through this, and where do you find yourself right now? Are you on the left side of the quadrant, or are you on the right side of the quadrant? If you're on the left side, no worries. At some point, just understand we all are in all of these boxes at some point in our life. The goal is, how do I stay over here more? Because this is where 95% of the world is, but the wealthiest 5% of the population, this is where they are. This is mentally where they think. And understand, being on the right side, it's not about the resources you have, it's about your level of resourcefulness. So it's about the mindset. And this is why, if you're watching this video and you already understand this, you are ahead of 95% of the population who doesn't even know this exists. So if you got value, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you back for another video. Have a great day, guys.
I got $1 billion mindset.